I think his decision was right. Follow him really has a future. Then he hurriedly swallowed the medicine. Then also flying body following. At the same time on a tall tree. There were two old men waiting for the worst. The two of them waited a long time. There was still no shadow of a person. Suddenly right now, a fake old man can feel it. There is a soft sound in the ear, but I can't feel any gas. And he said, "It's the wind." The old man next door opened his eyes wide and whispered 3CA. "Will that boy come through here? We've been waiting all day. Why is there no movement at all? Maybe he flew by. Or changed to another way." The rest of you sit there calmly. Silently waiting for the time. Now calmly say. The old man calculated like God. His guess won't be wrong. He said today, "We're going to meet the unsub who killed 6 on this road. I will definitely meet him patiently." Suddenly someone sighed for an hour. The man shook his head and said, "But waiting is boring." But they don't know either. As soon as they are distracted, there was a dark shadow approaching them. Wait until you get behind them. 2 small sharp blades carrying Theo Kwang, coming from behind them. The most beautiful body image slowly appeared in front of them. He had a pleasant smile. Smiling cold scorn. He was afraid you wouldn't find out. So I tried to use the potential. And you close your eyes and pretend to be stupid. End words on hand export converted into pan. From the top of the head to fake guys hit down. He screamed for an hour. Heaven and hell decide. Just like that, the 2 great masters of heaven and earth, one sound fell down to die. Not even the body. Most likely, Bu Lip mocked the ambush. But not focused. Hentai lamb, you really have no money. Next is the forest west of U Minh Cup. Summer the old rival is here. End words. He turned into a black shadow headed west. This side. The 2 elders of U Minh Cup also silently waited. Ambush prices around. The lake knows for sure the most harm. The 2 people whose faces stopped being serious did not dare to let go. The bald old man spoke out impatiently. These 3 boys will never come. It makes me wait anxiously. Because he let out his white hair and looked around at the same time. Keep your distance, he said. This guy didn't just kill him. It can also destroy one of his arms. The sinister, the wicked is not the gentle kind. You and I can't ignore him. Because he's the one who just cracked the plot. Shortly after he arrived. We must support each other. Don't fight him alone. Into the parking tracks of Old Man 7 and Old Man 5. The old man nodded furiously. The face stopped talking. Don't worry. I saw that boy as the master of heaven. Equal to the old man. But they didn't find out either. The one they've been waiting for has arrived. He's hiding behind a big tree. Listen to their whole conversation. Most likely, look at the 2. Not out of consideration. You 2 are so careful. How can you do it? Dealing with 2 visions at the same time. It is even stronger than 5. Even if it is, it will be difficult. Only then can we win. That's right now. The northern forest suddenly exploded. Then the seven-colored smoke also appeared. Forest animals and plants, in the blink of an eye, withered away. The two men looked away. Not out of fear, the same voice called out 7 waste and so on. 3 in a twinkling of a suspicious eye. Why are the people of the pharmacy here? Didn't they start out without them? He thought for a moment and laughed. He. Not the first monk. Their king of medicine is also the same. Killing Sao. And again, I heard that the body was stolen by him. It's no different than slapping them in the face. I can't be too ashamed to be angry. Maybe they came automatically. One more person is one more power. Hear this word. The third man frowned. When you realize something is wrong, you rush to say it. But at Sao, they hit 7 schools. Maybe they found out about that boy. Let's go through support. Not waiting for you to fly away. The fog on the Kier side slowly dispersed. Currently to director body photo. See this scene. The 2 husbands said with horror. It's not the 2 elders of the Sao emperors. At Sao, they've been poisoned by 7 shitters. Maybe hit the wrong one. While they were still doubting, a dark shadow slowly appeared. They are now standing behind them. In the blink of an eye, most likely, it's just a little bit. Through the old man. The other didn't even react. The body immediately weakens and falls down. He stood next to me, screaming out loud, 210. But he didn't get to pick him up. The worst of the worst was slashed at him. Rush to dodge to the back. Look at the person in front of you. The king of magic. The most obvious part of my face suddenly flashed. But he's such a great master. Sky Legend 8 wait. Even if he uses a knitting ribbon again. Not sure if we can win. The face is a little unsightly. This game is going to have to use some tricks. For a moment, he voiced his anger like that. He's Mr. Sao's brother. The relationship between the 2 of you is usually good. He looked at the body of the fallen at his feet. Aggressive lip biting. Angry scolding. Then why? You killed him 7 and he's dead 5. Today I will not let you leave alive. Most likely, it all looks in the eyes. Laughing for an hour. And so he brought back the body of the 4. The third man shouted, "What do you want to do?" It's cold for an hour. In the eyes appeared poisonous rays. If someone else is our enemy. We didn't just kill them. They beat them to death without closing their eyes. The third man urgently wants to grind his teeth. Suddenly right now. Most likely a gentle form. Laughed and shook his head. But that. I saw 2 brothers so deeply in love. So I will forgive him. In fact, we also have a brother who was born and died. He died at the hands of the devil's minions. If not that, maybe I have nothing to do with you. The 3 of them were a little surprised to hear this. This boy is also out of revenge for his brother. But he doesn't think it will either. Give him the cold for an hour. Still on the angry side said, "So should. You have the guts to confront our 7 kingdoms." Probably laughing for an hour. Hold your head high and say, "I avenge my brother for today's disaster." No resentment, no regret. Today I see you and I are in the same situation. So don't beat him up. Give him back to you. We are on the main road so high and low. You are for his brother, for my brother. Revenge wash hatred. And then he said it, and it fluttered. He threw his body in front of the old man. When he saw this, he was in a hurry. It's too big to look at the surest side. Today, you and I are on the right track for a fight. But don't wait for him to finish. The gas suddenly stagnates, the heart feels a sharp pain. Keep your head down. I don't know when he had a big hole in his chest. Fresh blood doesn't stop flowing. I can't help but look at the worst. He doesn't even know when he started. Most likely, a strange laugh suddenly waved his hand. A red light came from behind his back. Fly back to the west. Take your blood in your hands. I am most likely to boast that this is my monster. I've hidden it in his body before. Throw the body to you, just before the time comes to sneak you in. Further to reduce his vigilance. That's why my brother was killed. It's also a lie. I killed the lowlife just because he was an eyesore. Goodbye. 3 elders of U Min Cup. Hope for the next life. Don't he believe strangers so easily anymore? Especially your enemy, ha 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 ha. He turned his eyes to the northern forest. BA clan ambush. There are only 2 of the king's men left. He immediately raised his feet and flew to the other side. It's a little difficult to be serious right now. Against the 2 elders of the emperor. 7 discharges and 7 defeats. This moment, he really can't stand up to these 2. They can only run away. Thought then seriously hard to form a smile. Put on your hand to explain the misunderstanding. Misunderstand, the old man made a mistake. It was because the old man thought that evil must be hiding there. The 2 men who heard this were angry. Misunderstand your mother, you too. We wear the yellow clothes of the emperor. No one in this world can recognize it. You are the man of medicine. There's nothing wrong with not knowing that. It's obviously intentional. You stand back for me, waiting for us to skin and draw your bones. Then come to the pharmacy to find your master. Calculate book. Most likely, from a distance, look at 3 people. Look at the serious side. Shake your head in exclamation. This is also the king of medicine. No one compares in front of the dance for a long time. To face the king's elders. Threaten to become like this. It was because the emperor was too strong. Or because the king of medicine has become weak. If you think about it, don't say 2 words. Go to the serious side. Look who appears. Strictly overjoyed. He hurried behind the butler. You finally came and saved me. The 2 kings looked at him. In my mouth murmuring to Vicene scene. On your back there's a glow. It's the magic of the universe. It was not surprising when they realized. He grinned softly. That's right, you two belong to the Emperor. The two heard him nod. Look at the Sirius behind you. Clearly, it turns out that's it. I can't believe there are people in the pharmacy. Cho Mocking's army, sure. No wonder he suddenly hit you too. Now you dare say you didn't mean to. I seriously saw them find out. I don't care about pouting. Not afraid to admit. Maybe he was afraid of them. But his support has come. Long to be afraid. He didn't speak, and they laughed coldly. You think, at the Emperor decided. We're at the top 7. You think your 7-year-old is dead. It can be hard for us. Watch us skin and bone. You bring back the results report. I'm sure you heard what he said with contempt. Lying without preparing the script in advance. It's clear that power is going down. How can you fight with us? You two look at each other. Then laugh out loud. Even now our power is down. There is only a 4-dimensional level. They can take our lives so easily. Probably the best laugh for an hour. Then grab it and throw it over. Provocally speaking, I don't believe it. Or you to kill him first. He was thrown away and couldn't he help but be startled. He wants to sell him. The 2 old men were astonished. Vaguely take seriously tongue. Suspicions appear on your face or what you want to do. But right now, a red light in the body seriously. Suddenly out. In the blink of an eye. Into the body of the king's elder. Just for a moment, the elder Kier's short stiff body. Get naked eye speed. Can look to turn into dry bone. Directly from the middle. The elder saw this scene in amazement. Let go, roll your eyes and shout something. One moment the Kier let go. Most likely, the world has drawn seriously to you. I laughed and said. Have you seen the end of him? Do you still think that? Can you take our lives so easily again? The other elder had not escaped his astonishment. This person is like a rumor. The power of the mind is cruel. Take decisive action. Very worthy of 2 words, Maya King. Seeing his tricks, he kept thinking. Finally give up the search with Sirius. His ultimate goal is to take the head of the most ordinary track to serve fate. Then he suddenly laughed for an hour. Towards Wise say, hey ha 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 little boy. Not expected. You found such a good backer. The Lord will forgive you today. End words. Suddenly, he pointed behind the back of the 2 of them. The worst scream out loud. Who is it? Following this scream, the 2 most likely to turn their heads looked behind them. The old king saw that and bet. I finally bit the hook. Except to 111 magic math. So, but he still hasn't touched the surest man. A red light from the most powerful body in the world suddenly appeared. Through his body. His body was stiff. His eyes were wide open. Most likely, he looked back and laughed for an hour. These little tricks on BA. You still use it. You're the perfect proof of that. Stupid mind for chi developed. Smiling for an hour. Most definitely gently push one. The king's head is like a kite with a broken rope, helplessly falling from the air to the ground. Right now your blood is halfway around. Then fly back to his body. I look at your blood in the form of a baby. Urgently said earlier. What is it? Of course, most people know what he's asking. With a crooked smile. Very simple. First, he was chased by them for sale. Of course they'll look down on you. So when I pushed him over there, I let my demons enter you. Take a chance on one of them. An unwitting celestial master settles his skin to death. The rest of you will be surprised. And I took that opportunity to call the demon back into my body. I'm sure he'll pay more attention to you now. Thought you were a master before, just pretending. After considering it, he'll think we're easier to deal with. Of course they will attack me. To quickly achieve the goal, he will focus his attention on me and one. A small part of you, but like that, it's a very good opportunity, so that my demons can sneak in. Listen to him explain seriously horrible eye amazement. This is the trap in the trap. One of them is to die without the whole body. Most likely they laughed for an hour. In short, they died because 1 is too proud, 2 is too proud, 3 is too arrogant. The most serious thing to hear is this mouth murmuring. Scrub the butler. Not all BA is the same idea. His eyebrows involuntarily furled, probably the most exhilarating laugh. Ha ha ha. That's what it is. This is the common defect of all the top players. If you face it head on, I'm not sure I was their opponent. Unfortunately, they are so complacent. Being ugly in front of others is not okay. But in front of the dead, just a little negligence. He will let them die. There's no immediate burial. Seriously now, finally clear. Every single sentence of the most evil, they were all bait to lure the 2 elders of the king to bite. While they weren't paying close attention, he killed both of them. People think he always set the trap before. The truth is that he can start conspiring as soon as he meets. Thanks to his ability to read his opponent's mind. Then he can lure sa prey into the trap. Such a plot is rare. I don't blame him. Even the 7th demon was killed by him. Think about here. I can't help but add some respect. Ceremony said track the butler bravery but full. Stronger than people. Indeed, talent is rare. I was afraid to choose to be a family manager. It's a waste of talent. Probably the most heard. He's stroking the frozen horse's ass for an hour. You don't have to flatter my talent. I know myself best. If we want to lead or compete for the world, it's not that hard, just that. The most likely thing to do is suddenly stop. I don't know how to go on. Dare to stay lost. Want to wake up lost. Just because the ghost deserves to die, the boy is probably Kier. On the contrary, he does not know his ghost. He still thinks that he is a talented young man. Commit to being a butler. The butler is the owner's friend. When you get a commission, you have to work hard. A homeowner has skincare of a young Maya butler. Back out as why. That person must be a talented BA. Not to mention his appearance. Always one for such loss. Surely the owner of the lost house is a very honorable person. He also did not expect to have a large family. The character is so strong. He had never heard of it before. Beyond the present, he can come back under their control. Thinking of this, he could not help but shout with joy. That's really exciting. It is most likely difficult to see him. What is this old man having fun with? Take a deep breath and get ready to go again. From now on we go underground. He looked at her with a smiling face. The butler's trash is also cleaned up those two places. Most probably no, he was talking about the ambush over there. Roll your eyes and talk. I couldn't handle the fakir. The old man didn't try to save you. Be careful not to laugh. In my eyes more and more I say ha ha ha. It is also said that the butler is good. In the blink of an eye, we've solved the four gods. Master of hentai lamb and... Oh my gosh, it's the old man's turn. There are only two kings of heaven. The old man couldn't deal with it. What a shame. It's like remembering something right now. Most likely, he suddenly stopped walking. His meek eyes spoke seriously. I heard those two hoodlums say. The ambush this time was arranged by the Lord. Are you familiar with this, master? His words just ended, and he couldn't help but cry out in fear. You said it was impermanent. How many ways to get back to the forest? And they're going to ambush us. On this road. It turns out that impermanence arranged. Probably the most suspicious. Glanced at him. Do you know this impermanent leader? Slowly nod your head. His face stopped looking at him. Sigh and tell it. This impermanent leadership is the same as the butler track. He also came from a butler. Is the great steward of the emperor. I am sure you can't help but have a little appreciation. The emperor of the seven kingdoms is awesome. You can be the butler there and help the owner. Surely that person is not ordinary. I can't help but pay a little attention right now. Calmly listen to the serious words. Seriously, keep talking. The Celestial Empire recognizes a total of BA positions. Apart from General Ra, leaders don't have to argue. Y is also one of them. No one in this world knows what they are thinking. But his predictions are absolutely accurate. No one can deny this. The first is the first. He is also the current Prime Minister. The Celestial Empire is inherently precarious, unstable for hundreds of years. Foreigners are constantly trespassing, right until the wind blows. Take the position of Prime Minister, then everything can be stable. Jia-san Schoolfong step by step become a leader. The four emperors hated him. But I can't leave him. Even the seven kingdoms are afraid of the wind. It's not that there's no reason. Then there's the second star of the Celestial Empire. He is the great steward of the Emperor. The god of impermanent death. The Emperor is a distant relative of Emperor 7. He used to teach his descendants the art of Ra. Our butler is the one appointed by the Prime Minister. So even though impermanent leadership is just a butler, but he had a high position in the imperial court. Compared to Sand, leader of the celestial kingdom, then his power is not inferior. Talk about talent. I heard that he is not inferior to the sands of the wind. But now, no one's ever seen them play tricks before. There's something impermanent about 7 books. Should be most respected by everyone. Right now, most likely the world suddenly stopped doubting or asking. So the third one is just fine. Smiling seriously for an hour. My eyes say ha ha ha. Surely the butler knew that and asked deliberately. It's not the third chimpanzee you just killed. Listen to hear. The most likely reaction is the Devil 7. He laughed and said ha ha ha. That's right. It's the third chimpanzee, the 7th spirit of evil. There are many evil tricks 7. But I have to be a butler. If you are more than one, you have to fall off the horse. So now subpoena the butler. It's the 3rd star of the universe. His word just ended. I'm sure I can't get rid of this guy's lips again. He loves to claw a horse's ass. And then he laughed and laughed and laughed. Go Lao Tzu kill the demon 7 simply rape. Don't you waste your mind with him tired. I saw him react violently, laughing for an hour. I agreed to nod. However, the Devil 7 is not equal to the 2 bosses above. But not to the extent it's so easy to be calculated. Maybe it's because of the power gap. Most likely, I suddenly thought of something. Frown say that. In terms of the impermanent receipt trick, better than the Devil 7. He nodded gently and laughed out loud. Haha, it's not just possible. Say this. Jia San chief unveils scheme. Decided to win the universe. Impermanent god of wonder. Math in 7 books you Devil 7 sinister evil. The devil's plot. Compared to the 2 in front. Australian Devil 7 just gets the sinister, but it's much narrower. The 2 people above are more cunning. They told you it was a trap. But you can't help but jump in. AI high, AI low, AI strong, AI weak, AI. Housekeeper. You must have distinguished yourself between them. Right. If now the impermanent recipient has acted, then later, the more careful we have to be. I think the most likely thing to hear about this is a slight nod, in the heart of silent calculation. If the opponent is a chimpanzee beyond the Demon 7, can't be so scheming. It can only be so powerful. This is called healthy. You can beat someone who knows. Until then, even if he is a mathematical miracle, nothing can be done. If you don't fight back, you don't fight back. This is the real conspiracy. True power is the best. The urgent task of the present. We have to focus on finding the master. Help the lost. Thinking of this, his face could not help but show TIA resolutely. Suddenly a wind rises. The most steady face blinking stopped. Pull the sleeve of strictly a flight path. Let's get out of here. I can't help but look at his expression in amazement. It's hard to understand why that is. Most likely, bite your lips. The worried face replied. Ta, I can feel a great power coming. Is the magic seen? This time I was seriously panicked. Tears of fear in my eyes. I can't believe screaming something. Except the 212 bow of Feng. At the same time, a man with white hair, strong body with eyes to the distance. Deep down, it's been discovered. A plot passage. A sacred scene. He could have killed 6 elders. The house of 3. And he himself is unharmed. He rumors are not wrong. I'm sure this kid has some training. Stronger than the emperor decided. Finished his words and chased him. I want to catch the 2 most dangerous people. Feel the intense gas getting closer and closer. Most likely on the run. Immediately stop, urgently worry, say not okay. He's speeding up again. He said, seriously, immediately accelerate. The people who come here have a vision. Even if he uses all the cards in his hand, I'm afraid it will also be a disaster. But here he also felt his actions. Increase the speed again. With a wicked smile he said, he. This kid is a monster. No matter how talented others are, they are not comparable to him. Interesting. So we accelerate further. Not long after, he faked the speed. My vision very quickly was chased. It's only a few miles from you. I could see the other person's body. Probably the most nervous people cry out to stop dying. The old man was sent here. I seriously hear his scream. Turn around and see the appearance of the people coming. The face is immediately unsightly. Your eyes are shrinking. What so fast? Why is this ghost head? Hear this word. Most likely, ask if you know him. Sad and scared, he took a sip of saliva. Worry about speaking up. I don't know people of my generation. No one knows. No one is afraid of this ghost. I saw him flinch. Probably one side is constantly asking, who is he after all? Look at the distance closer and closer. Tongue fear trembling hard, people bite their teeth, said. Heaven and earth. Scripture ceremony. Right at the back. Then the sound of God's grace came. Hey ha, don't run anymore. The old man recognized you. You are not a serious boy. That's changed a lot. The devil next to you must be a monster. You to stop for the old man. The old man is looking for you. Most likely, he looked seriously afraid to stand by. This is the first time he was threatened to look like this. Even if this person is the master of scenes. With his applause, there's no reason to be so afraid. His expression shows. The old man in front of me was no good. If you get caught, it will be very bad. Then he grabbed the sleeve of the sergeant. He finally pulled him away. In my mouth screaming, stupid to stop, according to you. The next day I saw him want to run. Cold eyes down. Cold for an hour. Please do not drink alcohol again. Said then the holy ceremony immediately released the pressure. A whole force. It's like a sword shot at 2 people. The worst of all. See this situation. Probably the best in the eyes. Hurry up and stop the god. In my heart I never stop complaining. This person's idea, but it can threaten the whole spirit. If it wasn't for the inflammation, it would have appeared in time. Maybe he's passed out now. I'm afraid this is a lot less healing. But over here, shocking tears watched His Majesty retreat back. In my heart is constantly amazed.